Did I do it? Did I do it?
It
Think I
says
think I
using
did it? Come on. Come on.
that.
Well, I'm like looking at two different screens. I think it's going. Yay!
I'm proud of you.
Mess it up this time. Say what?
Well, I'm so proud of you. And apparently the dog is too, because he just did a little growl like, yes, indeed, like you are correct.
Yes! I am so excited. Hey, Gayleen. Hey, Nicole. Guys, I didn't mess it up this time. Aren't you proud? I always mess it up. So excited.
Hey, we can only, we're getting better every time.
Yeah.
Fewer, fewer technological difficulties, more people joining the Courtagonist goodness. It's all uphill. It's just always, good time.
Exactly. Hi, Miriam. Hi, Andrea. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. So how was your day, Angela? We'll talk while people start coming in on the chat and stuff.
I've been really, really busy. I've been doing a lot of interviews. A lot of people responded to my tweet, so it's been a long day.
Yeah, your tweet is like exploding. I made sure to love and share it as well.
My goodness. Thank you. I mean, I'll be totally, totally honest. I thought maybe 10 people at most would respond. I never thought in a million years it would get the reception that it got. So, I mean, I've been spending hours like sorting through, responding, trying to reply to people. I mean, it's taken a long time to get everything, organized, but
I bet, but like you're like right up there, like getting hundreds of people retweeting and everything like that. So that must be really, really exciting.
I was crying. I was so surprised and thankful. I mean, I know this is your YouTube channel, so I don't know if people have like heard me.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead, tell them.
No. I was just gonna say, like, if you've been watching, you probably heard me in the past mention my dissertation. I had a lot of problems, a lot of problems, to put it mildly. And so when I got this positive response, I was just, I'm getting emotional talking about it. I never expected that. And so it just really blew me away because, everything's been such an uphill battle, tooth and nail fighting. And so when I got this positive response, and I'm already crying, I was just like, it was just so touching. So, I mean, thank you for retweeting.
We all believe in you and love you and want you to do really well. And so if any of you read the romance genre, then you need to make sure to reach out to Angela and she'll interview you with different questions for her dissertation and all of that fun stuff. But I make sure that you go and you subscribe to her and her loveliness. And
thank you. No, I mean, I'm getting like emotional talking about it because I'm so moved by the response. I mean, I never thought it would. I mean, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that many people retweeted and liked and volunteered. So, I mean, I'm just so thankful. And I mean, I'm so thankful to everyone who retweeted. Like, even if you don't read romance, it was just so sweet that you were being so supportive. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Oh my gosh. You just put the biggest smile on my face. And you've been busy yourself, though. I mean, you've been having a very full day, Oh,
yeah,
sorry. It's coming.
today was the last day of school. And so as you guys, some of you guys might know, some of you might not know, but I'm a digital learning specialist for my district. So I teach teachers and students how to use technology in their classroom. And today we were collecting, between yesterday and today, we were collecting about 1,200 Chromebooks, laptops. And because we are taking the seniors' Chromebooks and we are giving them to 8th graders next year so that they will have the ability to use technology in their class. But I am just telling you guys, I am freaking exhausted. Like, I started my signature with C. McFarland, actually writing, like a pretty little thing. No, by the end of the day, it was CM. CM. I wasn't even trying. So
I feel like that's what writers do, though. I feel like that's why they have their initials because they don't want to keep writing out their long, name every single time. You're being
the long last name, so I'm it's 9 letters, I think. MCAR. Yeah, 9 letters. Look at me go. But Yeah, but that just means that since it's summer break, it is time to get my reading on because I don't have to go back to work until July 30th. So I'm super stoked about that.
That's amazing. So you have a good chunk of time off then.
Yes, I do. I'm super, super excited.
I mean, I have to admit, I love the new backdrop. I mean, it looks so pretty. I love everything about, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Courtney's kind of she's got the idea library in the background. She's got the Cozy Mysteries. She's got her Cozy Mystery box in the background. She even has her little logo there with, the cutouts of when she has her new videos. So professional.
I was like, you know what? I really want to just redo everything. And so if you guys haven't seen my video, I have a video of me building all of my bookshelves, of me taking all my bookshelves apart and everything. It's like a whole entire vlog. So if you guys want to see how I created, this awesomeness, you guys can go and look at that. So I'm pretty excited. Andrea says, any chance to watch you ladies talk about cozies? Yes. And Nicole says, not to toot her own horn, but she's been having stellar reading months. I got you. I knew you said, toot. I was picking up what you were putting down. Last month, I sucked, guys. Like, seriously, I talked about it. I read 4 books last month. This month, I've read 13 so far. And so I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't even know how many I read. I don't even remember to keep track of most of them, which is the worst thing ever. I mean, I feel as if my Goodreads, I surpassed my goal a while ago, but I just don't remember all of the books.
Yeah.
I did. That's the thing about, shorter digital age books though. You can get right through them and move right on to the next one.
Yes. Hey, Trish. All right. So something a little bit new, something a little bit different. What I want you to do, first off, is I want you to put in the comments how many stars you have rated Eclair and Present Danger. Everybody, me, Angela, we're all going to put how many stars we rated Eclair and Present Danger now. Let's see. I know I'm putting everybody like off. They're like, what are you doing? This is weird. And I don't know if you can find stars.
You're making me go closer to the screen. I was kind of getting, I was angling it.
Like, chilling out, like relaxing. I know, and I'm a horrible person. I'm like, you know what? Let's do some weirdness here. Trying to find stars. Dang, Nicole, how'd you find a star so quick?
How do you copy and paste this? I am so impressed right now. I mean, you're asking me to do something. I'm trying to do it, but I don't know if I can. And even
I don't know if I could do the Star of David. Like, it's a star, right? Like, I know. This is me just like, oh, there's the star. Ha.
I'm proud of you. I'm still, because the thing is, I have a half involved, so that's even worse. Like, there's no half stars, so I'm just going to have to put my reflection over there.
Hello, Adventures in Polish Land, and I'm glad that you're still here, Andrea, even though you didn't get to read it. We always love to have all of you amazing, amazing people, like, talking to us and stuff. That's always the best. So it looks like a lot of us have said 3 stars. So
I'm being generous. Like, I'm giving it an extra half just because I thought it was like a really easy read. Like, I didn't have to put it down at all. So I'm being generous. I'm like, I'll throw a half in there. It's been a good day. I'll give an extra little half.
You're having a good day. It's all good. I believed that I gave it a 3 stars.
I just saw the one. I just saw a single star pop up. Oh no.
And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I love this book club is the fact that since we only read the first book in a series, if you don't like the series, then hey, I'm not going to get the rest of that book because I don't know how many times I have gone to Barnes & Noble or I've gone to another bookstore and I have gone, oh, this sounds cute. And then I buy the first 4 or 5 in the series and then I start reading it and I'm like, oh, this is crap. And then I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I could take it to the used bookstore, but I'm not going to get anywhere near the amount of money I just spent on these books. So I feel like this is sort of like an evening out kind of thing where you're gonna love one or you're not gonna love it at all, but at least you now know. I guess that's what I think.
Oh no, I mean, this is, I've been getting our books on my iPad. I've been doing the ebooks because I kind of want to avoid that same situation where you're at the bookstore, you're tempted. At least if I have the ebook version, I can always just go on Amazon and download it, the next one in the series. I mean, I kind of take advantage of my, technological affordances of platforms.
Oh yeah, very much so. It took me a while to read this. I don't know if it was just my reading slumpness, but I have actually only read like 2 cozies this month. A lot of the stuff I've been reading has been nonfiction and things like that. So I loved the premise of this book. Like, I love the Emergency Dessert Squad mystery series. Like, the freaking names they came up with desserts, those were so awesome. Like, I was just like, that was just,
I think where the puns came in for me, like that, I know you have your chart. I'm like, if she's doing the pun rating, this is where she's going to get her puns. This is the pun part.
Yes, I know. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, this is fantastic. Like, and the recipes at the end of the book, like, you're a peach pie, worry no s'more bars. Like, that was just, it was so awesome. It was so much fun to read those. And I loved the fact that she was like, with her relationship with the elderly, like, that made my heart so happy, because like one of my favorite people in the whole entire world is my nanny, and I don't, she's never allowed to die, but like, I love that woman more than anything, and she's sassy, and I really, really, really liked the fact that she had that relationship.
So here, okay, let's just dive right into this. So that was actually a note I had. I thought it was sweet that she was friends with people, who were elderly. I thought that was sweet, but it was kind of getting to the point where she was talking about it a little too much for me. I was like, is this a weird fetish? I mean, it kind of got to the point where it was said a little too much and in a little too creepy of a way sometimes. When she said she collected old people, that really struck me. I kind of was a little like, okay, that's kind of getting a little farther along than I was going for with this little.
So who were you guys rooting for when whenever it came to the bow? Were you rooting for the oh goodness, what was his name?
Yeah, Jay and Greg, I'm pretty sure. Those
were you rooting for Jay or were you rooting for Greg? I personally was rooting for Jay. I liked Jay the most. But what are your guys' thoughts?
I posted this question on Twitter, so I'm pulling up the results because I actually did it twice, because I did one where it was the hot EMT because he had his nickname, and then we had the sexy professor. Then I did the other one of actually just putting their names.
Yeah. I'm all about the professor. All about the professor. Like, yes, please.
So it looks like a lot of people are rooting for Jay. We have 67% for Jay, and then we have one person with no opinion.
One person with no opinion.
More people were, and then I did the sexy professor. 50% were like, the sexy professor.
Well, we've all had that professor that we're like, okay, no, it would totally be inappropriate, but I still have a crush on you. Like, we've all had that professor, or at least I know I have.
I've been in academia for a very long time. I've never had that professor.
Never had that professor?
I've never had that professor. I'm going to throw that gauntlet down right now. I've never had a professor. I'm like, I'm looking forward to class because I'm very intrigued by you. I've never had that professor. I mean, I like some of my professors, but I've never been like, you're a very attractive human being.
Most of in my undergrad and in my master's program, there were a lot of male professors because my genre, my niche area is mostly men. So yeah, there were some handsome ones.
I went to, my undergrad school was Bentley, and so it was mostly it was a business school, and so there were a lot of male professors with that as well. But I felt like most of them, maybe Winnie would have liked it. They were very elderly, some of them. Yeah, maybe it was a place for Winnie to go. I don't know.
I do agree that Mr. Nelson, Adventures in Polish Land, said it was a bit creepy, especially when he sprayed the water all over Renee. Yeah, like I was like, I had to do like a double take when I was reading that scene. Like, because at first I thought that he was, like, yeah, he appreciated how beautiful Renee was. And then, but to spray her down with water, like, I'm like, come on, dude. Come on. you're a gentleman, or you're supposed to be a gentleman. Now you're kind of creep facing me. So that was a little weird.
I mean, I'm just kind of going back. I'm seeing everyone's talking about Jay. I'm just curious as to why Jay. So what was it about Jay where you're like, yes, he's my pick for this love triangle?
I loved the fact that, like, when she was talking about all of her interests and things like that, that he didn't really bat an eye, that he was like, yeah, like, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with you, you know, having friends that are older or different things like that. Like, I liked that about him. I also liked, like, how sweet he was whenever he was helping her with her business, like getting out other people ordering and talking about it. And he just seemed really, really down to earth and sweet. Whereas Greg, I believe that he's going to be a good friend in the series. I just don't see him as the one. I kind of want to see Greg with Renee.
I will admit that I wasn't sure how to interpret it without it being kind of a snap judgment, because she mentioned she collected the old people to Greg, and she mentioned the old people, and she said the smile didn't quite reach his eyes. And I kind of had that moment of, okay, I understand, maybe he doesn't get where she's coming from, you know, the perspective of it all. But would it be too hasty to write him off just from that? Because I felt like that was the turning point where she was no longer emotionally interested in him.
She shut down.
Yeah, that was when she kind of just totally turned off I'm looking at you, no, now you're friend zone forever. I wasn't sure if that was too hasty or if that was, you know, I'm not going to waste my time on someone who doesn't understand me. So I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I like how Nicole said, I just don't get why her having elderly people as friends was such a stigma. I think this book made it more of a problem than it would actually be in real life. I really agree with that. Like, every time she kept mentioning it in the book, I'm like, all right, seriously, sweetie, I get it. I get it. Your butt hurt about something. Can we get on with the show? Like, why does that keep having to be a thing? So
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I was mentioning it before, because it was referenced too much. It was cute at first, and I didn't mind it. I thought that was sweet. You know, I remember when I was, you know, I got bullied when I was a kid. So like, I remember being in middle school and I used to be a skater. Like, people at the rink, they were elderly, and I would talk to them, and I would look forward to talking with them. So I don't think it's out of the norm per se to have people, you know, who are friends outside of your age group. But the fact that it was referenced as if it was so negative, I mean, am I the only person who remembers when, you know, you're supposed to respect the elderly? Oh, you know, the old, you know, sage wisdom that they're supposed to impart. I mean, right? This was weird to me a little bit.
Is it considered, or I agree, is it considered socially to be such a big deal? Miriam asks. I don't know, like, not where I'm from. I mean, in Oklahoma, we respect our elders. They're not a burden on us. They're not like, I don't know. I get just as excited talking to my nanny and my nanny and my grandma Janet as I do people my own age. I mean, I kind of even like them more because they're easier to talk to. Like, I don't know. So I don't see why it's such a big deal.
Here, I agree. And apparently so does Max, because he decided to hand me a treat.
Well, he wants you to hold it is what he wants you to do.
He's like, you need to hold this. Therefore, I'm joining tonight's live stream.
Yes. Yes, all of my animals are like around the house. Like, Delilah's over there sitting in my spot on the couch. I'm like, hey, I'm getting that back later. Like,
he does that too. If I get up, you know, if I've been watching TV on the couch or something and I get up, he always goes right to my spot. Like, this is now mine.
Hey, Rudy McRuderson, that's going to be my spot in a little bit. I'm just saying, Mama's back hurts.
Yeah. So I did have a moment. Okay, so I did have a note because we've been talking about Jay. Because he gave her the business. He said he saw the ad in the paper, and then he said he saw her picture in the paper. And I kind of wanted a moment with Jay where he acknowledged he was attracted to her. There was something about that picture, that article that really drew him to her. But we never got that moment. And I made a note of that because he referenced the paper, her picture, but we never really got to hear more than that. I kind of wanted her to flesh that part out a little.
Yeah, I wanted something a little bit more of a deeper connection with Jay. I wanted, I don't know, something just a little bit more. I don't know about you guys, but I got kind of annoyed when she got all, I don't know, I feel like she became really immature when she talked to Jay's daughter and figured out that, you know, she was like, don't date my dad, yada yada yada. And then she was so sensitive and like overly emotional about it. And I'm like, lady, you've only known him for a couple of days. Like, this isn't insta love, I promise. But she was just very, like, I feel like she was overly distraught for something that wasn't serious yet.
I didn't mind her being a little distraught over it because, you know, she had the connection with him, that, you know, they got coffee. I didn't really see the deep connections. I do think she got a little, you know, carried away with, oh, woe is me. I didn't like the way she handled it. That's where I kind of lost a little bit of, I don't want to say respect, but that's where I lost a little bit of, okay. So she pretty much just complained more so than actually talking to him. You know, in my own head, I'm thinking, okay, if the child approaches you, says something like that, wouldn't you at least want to tell the parent? I mean, he had to kind of deduce and infer on his own. I mean, he reached the correct conclusion, thankfully. Otherwise, that love story would have been over. But she never talked to him. She never actually got anyone's opinion other than saying, "Oh, this is a problem," and now I'm writing him off. That was a little different for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I see some comments coming in. Madison says ageism unfortunately is prevalent in society, but she's glad that she's in the company of such inclusive readers. Everybody's welcome. Everybody. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, you know.
Dog or a cat, apparently.
Dog or a cat. I mean, if you just saw my recent video, I just had a top 5 of my favorite cozy companions. So I like all the things.
That actually leads nicely into Lovey, if we want to talk about the cat of the book, which I totally did not understand why the cat hated her as much as the cat did. There was never any.
I'm like, holy crap. Like, there wasn't an even background story of like, yeah, this cat has always hated me or anything. Like, you would have thought that the owner, once she died, would give the cat to someone who, like, you know, the cat liked or loved or something along those lines. Because I kept thinking, like, all right, like, when is the cat gonna stop being so angry? Like, I understand that its owner just died and everything. That's always gonna make and cause really bad anxiety with an animal, but she was loving on everyone else, so that made it seem even more awkward.
Yeah, that's where I was a little confused because this I don't mean to stereotype or do the cliche of, oh, if the dog likes you, therefore you're a nice character, but that's kind of usually what authors and, you know, movies do. You only have a set number of pages or a set amount of time on screen. And so if you can do something to show a reader that the person's nice, it's usually, oh, he picked up the, you know, the toddler. So they wouldn't, you know, when they scrape their knee, or, oh, yeah, the dog ran up to them or something. And so the fact that the cat didn't like her kind of made me have a little bit of a red flag of, what's wrong with Winnie? So it had the opposite effect because they never actually explained why the cat didn't like her. You know, she never said, oh, I accidentally opened the door and, you know, caught the tail or something. There was never a reason. And that really was where I was kind of waiting for something to explain that dislike. Because I remember when they introduced Greg, I thought we were having that moment of, oh, the cat likes him, therefore he's the nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I just kept feeling like, was she really even trying hard enough? Like, she kept, her best friend Renee would suggest things to her. She's like, well, I've done that. But we didn't see her doing that or even trying. So I kept thinking, like, is she really doing it? Is she really trying to befriend this cat, or is something else going on? Miriam says, I found that weird that we didn't know anything about her previous relationship to Lovey since her proprietor was such a close friend. Exactly. Like, they were supposed to, like, she left her cat, which to me, my animal is one of my most precious things in the whole entire world. Like, they are my family. And then I'm not going to give my animal to someone who I don't think is suited to raise that animal or be with that animal. The only reason why I could think that she would leave Lovey to her is if she feels like she's alone and that she needed the companionship, but I don't know.
I'm waiting to see the comments. I'm hoping someone has a really good answer. Oh, so someone agrees with me.
Yeah.
It was, because the other thing is, too, I kind of got flashbacks to the other book we read, the Catmobile one, or the library with the Catmobile there. And I was getting flashes of, oh, maybe the cat's going to stumble upon something. And so the cat did kind of work its way into the narrative of bringing her back to the guy's house. So I understood the cat's purpose to some degree, but the dislike of the cat is where I was confused.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're gonna have a cozy companion in the story, they're a protagonist, and they are like just as important as the primary character. If we're talking cozies, and we are, because that's a thing. Either you're gonna be pro cozy companion with our little furry friends, or you're gonna be not having them in your book in the first place. So
I also will throw in this little caveat. I think I mentioned this last time with the cat in the library. So if you have a cat in your, I don't know how to phrase it. She has the ambulance that she refurbished for, the emergency dessert squad. So if you're carrying food in your car and you have a cat in there, that is totally going to be a health code violation of some sort.
Well, and she said that in the book. She was like, this is a health code violation, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, then why is he still in there? Like, for some reason, I think she said something along the lines, I don't know if I'm just saying this in my head, but was there like a mirror or like a wall between the front half of the car and where all the food was? Because I can see that being like semi-okay, but if it was just like seats and then all of the food, not okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't remember that scene as in that amount of detail. But the part that I think kind of got me was she acknowledged it was a health code violation, but then the cat continued to join her in multiple deliveries, so it wasn't a one-time occurrence. It was like he just kind of, or he or she.
It was like, that's his place. That's her place. That's where she's gonna be. But I don't know. See, okay, good. Deanna Duffy said at one point she mentioned that there was a barrier between the front and the back and that it made it not a health code violation. I thought so, but I was just making sure because I was like, it does seem sort of, maybe not the best idea in the world, but then maybe it'll bring her and Lovey close together. You never know. You never know.
And we found out it did not. Okay, here's the other thing when we start talking about health code. Okay, it took her exactly 1 weekend to get this new business up and running. You would never get your new company name. You would never be able to get the paperwork, anything like that in one single weekend. Not business 2 days, a weekend where people are not in the office. So I'm thinking the logistics of this was a little off timeline.
It had to be a little off because like I'm working on the Cozy Escape right now and making that box like a real thing. And it is a lot more difficult than I even give credit for. Like I'm still in like different phases and it's going to take me a few months to get this off the ground. And the fact that she was talking about like, sort of how she couldn't afford the rent because the rent was raised and things like that. I kind of want to know, like, did she, like, they could have mentioned, hey, she dug into her savings account to pay for all of the, stuff for everything.
Even, I forget if it was Greg or Jay, but she showed them the logo on the ambulance. I'm going, okay, you cannot just have a logo drawn up, made, and plastered onto an ambulance in, 24 hours. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
And I was that's like a copy line. Is it a copy line editor or, content editor? Someone should have picked up on the timeline being just a little askew.
Yeah, they should have been like, hey, you might need a little bit more here. Maybe. That might be a thing. I agree with Miriam that a cat in a bookmobile was more appropriate than a cat in a emergency dessert squad place where there's food and allergies and things like that. I agree very much.
I'm still waiting for Doug, who is a mystery in our book club. Yeah, he's like, my dog.
We need to get to that.
I mean, so, okay, so I'm going to change directions just for a second. So I'm curious how everyone felt about this murder mystery part of the Cozy, because in my head, the murder mystery was not the forefront of the narrative. It was more so secondary. I mean, her relationships, that was the forefront of this novel. It wasn't necessarily a murder mystery story. At least as far as I'm concerned.
No, I totally agree. That's one thing that I thought was really, really, hold on. Hand wave. Emergency Dessert Squad could be operating as part of the previous business. It could. Yeah. It could most definitely be part of the previous business with just sort of like a second place. So maybe she didn't have to do as as much paperwork and things like that. But I agree. I really wish we would have gotten a lot more mystery. Like at one point, I thought that 3 people could have been the killer. I thought that his son could have been. I thought that the ambulance guy could have been, and I did think that the professor, the history professor, could have been. I guessed that it was the history professor probably about halfway through the book due to the fact that I'm a teacher and I understand what we can afford, and that fancy ass car is not something that we can afford. I'm just saying, it's not happening. Not happening.
I was looking it up on the Twitter because I posted on the poll. I didn't want to do spoilers, but I kind of just posted, did you know who the killer was? And so we had 20% yes, 20% not even close, 40% had a hunch, and 20% haven't finished yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that, like, one of the whole entire reasons that we read cozies is, yes, we want to know about the protagonist and her relationships or his relationships. We want to know all about the small kind of town and things like that. But this is a mystery. It is a cozy mystery. And yes, it is the first book in the series. And so she has to introduce a lot of main characters and different things like that in order for us to understand later in the series who each of these characters are. But I still feel like it could have been more wrapped around the mystery. Like, I think it would have been really cool if she would have gone and done research, like at the library on the coin or something along those lines. I think that would have been really cool. But yeah.
No, I mean, she never actively pursued the mystery, and we never see them give witness statements. We never meet the cops in this town. We never have, like, they have the tape, but we never actually see them. And as soon as I'm saying this, I see this comment pop up. That was my note. I wrote this down, like, we never meet the police. We never see a detective. We never even see the guy get arrested. We just have Jay come in and save the damsel in distress, which is a whole separate issue as far as I'm concerned. But we never see the cops in this town. And then my other, yeah, she never actually, so I wrote down, like, she stumbled into the clues. And so she found the flyer, but she wasn't actively seeking any, clues. She wasn't actively going after anything. Then she found the letter at the 40% mark as far as my Kindle was concerned. Again, not actively searching. And then she kind of, the leads kind of died on their own. So we had a school teacher who kind of in conversation mentioned Ava was at the dentist. Again, not active, there's no agency, no.
No, she was just going doing her job, dropping off those cookies. I feel like, exactly, like Miriam said, it was a sleuth that wasn't really sleuthing. And Nicole said didn't get enough mystery, even though her relationships were the forefront, they still didn't intrigue her. And that's how I feel as well. This is why I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. Like, I thought that it was a good beginning cozy, and maybe if I didn't have so many other cozies that I need to read, I'd pick up the second one, but I'm not like itching to pick up the second one, if that makes sense.
I kind of broke one of my like reading rules almost, because I went on to Goodreads, and again, I usually read the reviews after I've read something, and so I started reading the reviews for the second and third one, so I broke my rule. I started reading the reviews before I read them, and I'm not really going to be motivated to pick them up right away because A, there's only 2 other books, and B, again, I think they're very relationship focused because the comments were very much similar to this kind of, mentality. Not complaints, but like critiques. So apparently Jay's ex-wife decides she wants to be a mother, and that comes back in the picture and throws a wrench in the relationship. And then the daughter is also, she's not an advocate for them getting together. And so again, it's very relationship driven. And I think a lot of people had the same commentary that they had about the first one for the second and third, about how it's going to be more focused on the people in her life and the mystery. But I don't know if it's in the right genre almost.
Yeah, someone said over here, Galen said that this was more of a cozy contemporary than a cozy mystery, which I really like that. I've never thought of cozies in general having their own separate genres. Like I think of them having their own themes and that kind of aspect, but I've never really thought about them having their own subgenre within the subgenre. I really, really liked that. And I like how Deanna says that the cops show up a little bit more in the second one, but some other dumb stuff that happens. And so I'm like, well,
town isn't like, you know, an amorphous blob on the map where there's no law enforcement, like the Purge or something. Because I was waiting for a cop to do witness statements, or even her mention like, oh, the cop mentioned in passing that so and so was on the property. I mean, we never saw the cops. I mean, unless I missed something.
Some sort of antagonist that is also a main character in a way. Like you have to have someone like, I need a legit reason why she's able to be a part of the, like, it needs to be believable to me. And it wasn't being believable to me at all. And so I thought that it was, I really, really liked the desserts. Yeah.
I love how you're like, I'm going to try and be positive right now. That was so cute. No, I mean, I think, I don't mind. I like relationship focused stuff. That's why I've been studying the romance genre. I don't mind relationship focused, but I just thought the mystery part was just so secondary. I mean, I almost think it was maybe even like a third, like a third or fourth storyline, because we had her talking to Jay, and we had her with Greg, and she's trying to figure out the business. I mean, there were so many other things that were at the forefront of the story. That's where the narrative was really entangled. It wasn't so much driven by the murder mystery, but by her life. And so that to me was very, you know, that was prominent. And your cat is adorable, by the way. I don't know if
thank you. I don't think that they saw her, but she was like very much wanting loves, and but she wants loves in her own way and not in ow.
Did she scratch you?
Yes, rude. She only loves me when she wants to love me.
I know Max jumped down a minute ago. He dropped his treat and he's going, I'm going to stay down here with the treat now because you're not even talking to me.
You're not even paying attention to me. But the thing is that like she'll knock over every single thing trying to get my attention, and then when I give it to her, she's like, "Oh, nah, brah, I'm done with you. I don't want you." And I'm like, "Fine, be that way, rude."
So can we also talk about the other thing that kind of stood out to me at this particular point in the murder mystery? So she gets angry and confronts the murderer. If she doesn't call the cops, she doesn't tell anyone she's doing that. She confronts the murderer and calls him out. She doesn't just go to, you know, see him and figure out, you know, evidence or anything like that. She actually calls him out.
Yeah.
The smartest sleuthing.
I'm like, girl, now I know that you are not a cop, not a detective. You don't have any of that in your background. But do you have a lick of common sense? Just a little bit, like a tiny little bit of common sense. Like you would think that she would.
She literally just goes into the murderer's house, and I mean, you know, this guy killed someone in cold blood, and again, in the kitchen, he picks up a knife. I mean, the location, she's in his home. She's not even in her home. Invite him over. She's not, you know, home to her, you know, situation. That whole scene. Yeah. I just had this moment of, did she run out of word count to make this the situation that just occurred? And that sounded so mean and judgmental. I mean, if the author's watching, I don't mean it like that, but like seriously, it just kind of felt rushed almost to have that as the kind of climactic unveiling of the killer. I don't know if anyone feels that way.
No, I agree. I feel like it was, I don't know, it could have been something a little bit more. I feel like there could have been, you know, something more to it. Just a little bit would have been nice. Given it a little bit more substance, something along those lines. She didn't like defend herself really. She was like, oh, like, what do I do? And then she had to be rescued. That pissed me off. And I was just, I was a little bit salty,
That caught my attention. And I kind of mentioned that before with Jay bursting through the door with the damsel in distress and her knight in shining armor, you know, is coming through the door to that really, you know, this is why I like Shannon from A Fixer Upper. She was her own hero. She was her own, you know, she didn't need anybody. I mean, Shannon's been my favorite character this far, and I think I'm sticking with Shannon.
Shannon is pretty awesome. She's second to me because Jules is my favorite. But yeah, Shannon was the most like, I can do this on my own. I don't need you. And I liked that. I really liked that. She was, yeah, pretty much. She deserved the 5 stars I gave her.
I think that might be my favorite read thus far. I mean, I enjoyed this one though. I thought the writing at least flowed. My only real critique with the writing was how there'd be parentheses with kind of commentary inserted, and I wasn't sure if that was used too much. I mean, it was funny sometimes, but I found it a lot in the story. And so I wasn't sure how people felt about the parentheses where all of a sudden there would be this insert of, oh, you know, so-and-so. And it kind of took me out of the moment just a little bit. I wasn't sure if anyone else noticed that.
No, I noticed that too. It was kind of jarring in a way, sort of like, like, you know, Madison says, how did Jay even know where she was? Well, she figured it out right whenever he was walking her to her car, but I don't know if she actually told him, oh my God, I know who the killer is, or anything like that. I'm not quite sure, but I was just, I'm looking to see, but I have no idea if she actually told him or not. I just know that she figured the whodunit while she was talking to him.
I mean, we already know what he can infer and deduce. He figured out the daughter, kind of scaring her off. We know he's a smart guy, so I'm going to give him a little bit of credit here, which again takes away from her just a smidge of
Yeah, I'm kind of like, can Jay be our protagonist? I like Jay.
Yeah, you really seem to like Jay. I think he's one of your new bookish crushes almost.
Yeah, I do. He's like all, I don't know, smart and he seems funny, and I don't know, he reminded me of Aaron, and so I was like, I like this character.
I think we just solved the allure of Jay. Oh my goodness. I mean, I found the quote I was thinking of. So I didn't tweet this. I tweeted a lot. I tweeted a little bit earlier. Very few people understood her, least of all men. So really, why bother? I don't know. There was something about Winnie where she just kind of was in her own little world. I feel like almost she wasn't really conscientious of the other characters to their fullest. I think almost. So you know,
it's just very much teenage girl, like how she was very much, woe is me, everything is over exaggerated and sort of like, kind of like that. I don't know.
I think she had a little bit of like a bubble around her almost. That's where I think I was going with it. Like she kind of lives in Winnie world.
Yeah, very much so she does. Yep.
And so I did also pull Bridget. So what did you guys think about the quote unquote nosy next door neighbor?
I thought she was sweet and endearing. I liked her face. I thought that she was one of the most interesting characters out of all of them, and one of the most realistic, because older people are very, very nosy because they don't care about those boundaries anymore, those social boundaries. They're like, no, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. I don't care if you judge me. Go ahead, judge me. What are you going to do? I'm like 60. Come at me.
I love how she really did take her gossip column, even though she doesn't call it gossip column. She took it seriously, though. I mean, it was their hobby, but it was professional to her. I mean, I thought she was so cute. And it was funny when she said she was complaining about her ailments. I'm like, okay. I think she was just probably telling you it was wrong, but, you know. She was really cute to me because she kind of just came bursting in when she wanted to. She had I think you hit the nail on the head with the boundaries issue. She just was like, I'm here now. What are you talking about, girls? And she dubbed him, you know, the hot EMT. That was her nickname. And I was thinking, Bridget, you're funny. I like you.
Yeah, I thought that she was spunky, and I really, really did like that. I love that Adventures in Polish Land says, you know, she really did think that she was immature for her age too, and that we also know so little about her backstory, because that's sort of like what we normally get within the first chapter. Hey, this is how she ended up in this town. Hey, this is what she's trying to do. This is everything, you know, but we don't get that. And so I feel like we also, with that being absent, we also sort of feel not as close to her as we would have had she had a problem that more people could relate to, like starting over or going to someplace new, different things like that.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of picked up on that when she had all these relationship issues, because she had such that hesitation. I'm gonna go with hesitation to go out on a date. She had all this hesitation to like Greg at first, even though, you know, she was kind of pushing herself to like him a little bit. I was waiting for that moment of, oh yeah, I'm divorced, or oh yeah, I had a really painful breakup, he cheated on me. I was kind of waiting for that explanation to occur as to why she had that mentality or that disposition of being hesitant to going out on these dates or something. I was kind of waiting for that. I noticed that as well. I mean, I don't know if you guys were kind of waiting for that with the relationship, but that was something that struck me.
Yeah, I just kept waiting for her to open up a little bit more so that I could feel like I have something in common with her, other than, of course, the love of desserts and everything like that. But I don't.
Even then, we never learned how she learned to bake. We don't know why she became a baker, aside from she's just good at it. Was there a story? Did her mother teach her? I mean, I kind of wanted more about that too.
Yeah, I agree. Polish Land says that she thinks that she mentioned that she moved to town 2 years ago, but we have no idea where she's from. We have no idea if she went to school for baking or if this is just something that, you know, she has a knack for. We don't really learn any of that throughout the book.
No, I mean, I remember that 2 years ago, kind of. I don't think it was a throwaway comment, but I would like to know why she moved there. I mean, we know why she moved into that area with the elderly. Again, I think that kind of borderlines on a little weird, creepy, because she's just so drawn to the elderly. I mean, that was a little, the 2 years ago she moved to the elderly neighborhood. I mean, that I don't know.
I understand moving to a quiet neighborhood with, more mature residents and things like that. But I feel like she's sort of, I don't know, like just staying in her comfort zone and not that it's not okay to, not be around people your age. I normally gravitate to people who are older than me. But to the point of where she doesn't go out and mostly stays at home and plays chess with Mr. Nelson and things like that. I'm like, honey, there's something deep in your closet that you need to tell us so that we can sympathize with you more, because at this point I'm not sympathizing. Not very much.
Even then, I kind of was waiting for, that moment of, oh, I was bullied and this was the only friend that, I had. She did kind of explain her relationship in that, draw to that one elderly man in particular. Yeah. But even then, I kind of felt as if that was discrediting the friend Renee there, because she is comparable age-wise. And so I thought that was kind of discrediting her a little bit when she says, oh, all my friends are elderly. I'm going, well, what about Renee? Isn't she?
Renee, the one who's trying to keep her, going out and different things like that, who seems to really need her as a best friend too, because she's going through her own horrible breakup and different things like that. So I feel like that could have been a little bit more, in depth.
Yeah, there was just one story about one elderly man, and so that one elderly man changed her opinion of all elderly people. That was the life-changing moment. Yeah, I kind of would have liked it. I don't mean to put you on the hot seat, but you're talking about your family. Your grandparents are usually the first elderly people in your life, and I use the quote elderly. I don't know if they're supposed to be elderly. They could be younger, but usually they're 60 over.
Mm-hmm. My Nani is 69, and then my grandma Janet is 75, 77.
I'm just curious as to why that guy was her first experience with the elderly. I don't
know if because that's what I want to know. Have all of her grandparents passed away when she was a child? Is she an orphan who never had the experience of being around the elderly? What else is there? Oh, I guess my grandma Janet is 76, not 77. Just saying that. Okay.
My parents are older, so my grandparents, passed away when I was really little, so I have no memories. So that's sweet that they're 76. I'm like, oh, that's cute, because my dad's 75.
Yeah, my parents had me really young. My mom had me a month after she turned 20. So my parents are very young. They're 48. This year they both turned 48.
I was going to say, your mom was watching. Are you allowed to call her out on her age on YouTube? Is that
born June 9th, 1970. What you going to do, Mom? Huh? What? I find myself highly entertaining. I don't know this. Oh, I don't understand this whole, yeah, she told me to shut up. I don't know this whole, thing with not telling your age. I have never been afraid to tell my age. Like, I'll be 28 in 2 months. Like, I don't understand this whole, like, there's nothing wrong with being old.
She's still commenting.
Oh yeah, no, I'll hear about this for weeks. It's just highly entertaining to me.
And it's archived on YouTube, so you have evidence to call her out. When you call her out, bookmark this time slot. What time are we at? You're gonna be like, okay, when we were at the X amount of minute mark, my daughter outed me at my age. We're including everyone in the audience. We're like, we're gonna include you in the narrative. That's funny.
Yep, Nicole, I have a brother older than your parents. Yeah, I have students whose parents are older than my parents. So, yeah, I got mistaken for a high school student again this week. Yep.
I love your mom. She's so cute. I love this.
That's my mom.
Oh, so cute. You two really, you really are your own little cozy mystery novel right there. I just got flashes of the, Ellie Alexander over there.
That's the genre.
So cute. No, so you're getting mistaken as a high school student. I mean, that must make you, a little ego boost.
Like, seriously, like, I walked in to go and fill myself some water, and I walked by again, and they're like, every time you come in, we go tell you to go to class, and then we remember that you're an adult and you work here. Like, that's a thing. Yep.
Like, thank you.
Like, my 10-year high school reunion is this summer, so, like, all that fun stuff. Kimberly Schroeder, I could be your mom. Yeah.
We're learning all about Courtney's life now.
Yep.
Be in the hot seat. I would love to be. I think that's adorable that you're getting mistaken as a high school student. I would take pride in that one.
Yeah. All right. Maybe like in 10 years, I'll still be mistaken as a high schooler. That'd be cool. I'd be happy, at 38 being like, yeah, I get mistaken as a high schooler all the time. But I don't know if that's still going to happen. But
you just reminded me. I did an interview, and one of the ladies was she was talking about ages, and she goes, "You look in your 20s." I'm like, "Thank you." You're right, but it was funny. She's like, "What are you, early, mid? Like, what are you?" She kind of took herself out of what she was saying to ask me. It was really funny because she'd been answering, and this answer was going for several minutes. It was a very long answer, and all of a sudden she stopped. Wait a second, how old are you? And then she went back to talking about what she was doing. It was like she had to stop to figure out for a second.
Yeah.
Ages. I am terrible figuring out people's ages. So I stopped trying. I'm always wrong, and then I don't want to offend anyone by either saying they're too old or too young, and I just have no idea. I never respond.
That's why I always go, so how old are you? And then if they're like, oh, a woman doesn't reveal her age, I'm like, okay. All right, you're one of those people. That's fine.
I always hesitate because I'm always like, why do you want to know? I kind of do that. I'm going to answer your question with a question as to why.
I can see that. So do you guys have anything else that you guys want to talk about? Nicole says, guess how old I am. I think you are 29 or 30.
I know how old she is. I love Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
How old is she?
I'm not telling unless she wants to tell.
How old are you?
Everyone should follow Nicole. She is amazing.
Yes, I love her face. She cracks me up. Age isn't so important. I just think it's fun to see how old people are. It's just my innate curiosity, basically. I like to know everything about people.
Maybe this is my own so I got my bachelor's degree in 3 years instead of 4, and then I went right through my master's, and then I enrolled right for my PhD. So I keep getting called a baby. So maybe this is why I kind of hesitate with age, because I'm kind of going, why are you going to start, making comments about it? I kind of pull out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have that little hang up because people are
we're almost the same age, Nicole. You're only a little bit older than me. See? Mm-hmm.
I'm younger than everybody, apparently.
Which is okay. I'm normally younger than everyone as well. Like, I'm the youngest one on my team. There's 3 people in my team, and I'm the youngest as well as the only girl. So, that's fun. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about the book? I know that we normally go like, well over an hour, but I know that both Angela and I are very exhausted. And so if you guys have anything specifically that you want to talk about the book, we can totally do that now. I'm not saying that we have to stop. I'm just saying, like, you know, if you have anything else you want to talk about. And then if not, then I will reveal the book club book for June. What do you guys think about that? I'm pretty excited. Did you guys like the fact that it was an Agatha Christie themed book, sort of pickage, if you will? I know it wasn't as cool as Angela's thing that she did last month, but I was super busy with work and kind of a loser and was not as cool. Maybe next time I'll be as cool as Angela.
Oh my gosh. You're going to make me blush. I mean, I usually really, I mean, I retweet, I got on Twitter today, probably a few hours ago, but again, because I was so busy interviewing, I didn't get to do my usual all-day quotes, you know, from the book. So I did some of them, but I wasn't as active on Twitter. So I also feel as if I was a little less. I mean, granted, I usually tweet a lot, so I mean,
yeah,
I'm gonna take some pass.
you were rocking it. I know that this summer I will be a lot better at being able to be more on top of it when it comes to social media and everything like that. Like, that's one of my big goals for this summer. Because I feel like I've been lacking there with how stressful work is and everything, but I'm hoping that I can really get a lot going on and everything like that.
Well, because we're talking about Twitter, so I will be live tweeting the Haley Dean all of the movies for Hallmark. So they contacted me. So I'm going to be live tweeting Haley Dean every Sunday at 9 o'clock, starting this Sunday, following Sunday, and the Sunday after that. So I'll be live tweeting. If you guys are sleuthers and want to join the, you know, Hallmark Cozy Mystery Goodness, I will be live tweeting. So make sure.
That's freaking awesome. Look at you.
Yeah, so make sure you follow my personal account as well as the Cozy account, because I'll probably be throwing some tweets up there as well. Hallmark was like, oh, if you can do 20 tweets the entire movie, and so last time I had 40, so I think I did 20 on mine and 20 on the Cozy.
I think that you did pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys want to follow the Twitter account and watch the movie with me, we can have a tweet along.
Heck yeah, that would be awesome. So it doesn't look like anybody has anything else to sort of add to the book. I'm glad that we read it because it was on my shelf to be read. And so I'm super, super excited about that. Also, so this luck just keeps happening to me. I also already owned the book that was chosen for June, which is just really, really weird because 2 out of the 3 books that I put up on the poll, I didn't own. And so I was like, what were the freaking chances that Mayhem at the Orient Express by Kylie Logan would be chosen for July, or not July. I was reading my birthday. June's book is the Mayhem at the Orient Express. And so it looks really, really adorable. It is a League of Literary Ladies mystery. And they have like a book club. It's a library book discussion group. And they talk about, I mean, all different kinds of things. And their initial book choice is Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. And it sets their mouths to watering because the Orient Express is the island's new Chinese restaurant. And so it sort of like blends, you know, Agatha together with a freaking, you know, League of Literary Ladies and all of that fun stuff.
This was the first time I heard of this book. I didn't know about this one. So this one I do not own. I'm gonna have to buy. I think I've had to buy all of them. But no, I mean, that sounds really intriguing to me. I mean, if you want to have something Agatha Christie themed, I am all for that. I mean, we can have a movie watch along or something. I mean, because we have Murder on the Orient Express. I mean, now we can do this too. So.
Yeah, we do. I freaking loved Murder on the Orient Express. It was so good. I I really liked it. But here, all my Agatha Christie's are up here. All of my lovely Agathas. But
I just saw the love for Hallmark. Yeah, the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel. They have Haley Dean. They have 3 new movies from her, so I'll be live tweeting all of them. So if you watch Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, I mean, I love Hallmark in general, though. I mean, I feel like I'm one of their advocates. I mean, I love my Hallmark movies. I have fun with them. I mean, they're
fantastic. I totally agree. And Miriam, you might be able to get the app for the Hallmark channel. So I think that's how I got it, was just going through the app and purchasing it through the app, but I'm not quite sure. I'm trying not to sneeze. Okay, it went away.
Are you okay?
I was trying to sneeze and then it wouldn't come. It was like not even there. I don't know. Do you guys have any more questions or anything like that before we kick off and I can go and dive into this book tonight? Does anybody have anything else they wanna say? Make sure that you go and subscribe to Angela's channel, her Twitter, her Instagram, and the Cozy Mystery Book Club. And if you like romances, make sure you message her so that you can help her with her dissertation and all that fun stuff. You know you want to. I know you want to.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be blushing. You're so sweet. Oh, you're just you're. Oh my gosh, I really think I'm gonna become a tomato, and I'm so pale I can't even hide it. That's like the worst part. You can't even hide the the redness.
On the East Coast with like all of like the cloud coverage and stuff. Here in Oklahoma, I already have a tan.
Oh my goodness, I would love to be able to tan. I feel like I'm that stereotype because I do have the light blood. I got the light hair, I got the light eyes and light skin. I burn. It's not even funny. If I'm out in the sun for too long, it just burns. Even if I have sunscreen on, it's a problem. But no, you just seriously put the biggest smile on my face. You're so sweet. I know this is your channel, so people already subscribed to you, but I'm like, Courtney's, I mean, everyone should see your Instagram. It's amazing. And I think they should get ready to subscribe to some Cozy Mystery Box goodness.
I'm working on it. I got some box samplers in to see what size I want my boxes to be. And then I've already contacted wholesalers and talked to them about what my prices would be and everything like that. So I was, I'm super excited about it. I don't know how long it'll take me to get off on the ground, but I'm working on it.
Well, I think you had a pretty good response. I've been so behind because I also have unboxing videos. I have videos I need to edit, and so I have not posted yet, but I think you got a pretty good response when you did your kind of, I don't want to call it like focus group YouTube video.
So, oh yeah, my create your own book box.
Yeah, I think you got a pretty good
I got a really good response from that, and I've had over almost 70 people sign up for my email updates and things like that. So it's going pretty good. I hope that it'll go farther this summer now that I have more time.
I think you have the right approach with it though, because you're taking your time, you're not putting too much pressure on yourself or too much pressure on any one part of this. I think the, one step at a time mentality is really, really good.
Yes.
Yes. Really support that. I mean, I'm going to support you no matter what you do, but I think you're going about this very, smart. Being very smart about it.
I'm trying.
And I love the box. It's just so cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I just wanted to say that I love all of your faces, my cozy companions. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to both Angela and I. You guys are fantastic.
I know, it's so much fun to talk about cozies, and I feel like we really did blow through it tonight, talking about everything from the cat to the relationship triangle. We really went through it tonight super quickly, but it's always so much fun to talk about books with everybody. Everyone's just so sweet and nice, and I love our little bookish corner of the world. Hugs and love to everybody.
Yes. So good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
And